Hi everyone, I'm Meredith Abbott, Culinary Director for Sur La Table, and welcome to On the Table. Today I'm making my favorite dessert, cheesecake. More specifically, Basque cheesecake. Unlike the traditional American cheesecake, this is crustless and is baked at a high temperature, giving it a caramelized, beautiful crust. Before I get started mixing my batter, I always prepare my pan. Now, unlike, again, a traditional American cheesecake, I am making this Basque one in a loaf pan. This is a really rich, indulgent cheesecake, so I like it in a smaller format, like a loaf pan, so that I can slice really thin slices, because it's so rich, all you really do need is a thin slice. So to prepare the pan, you butter it and then you line it completely with parchment paper so you can lift it out easily. When that's done, then you can get started mixing your batter. It's also maybe a little bit out of order than what you're used to. So in the big bowl, you're going to add sugar and cornstarch and a little bit of salt, because of course, everything that's sweet needs a little bit of salt for balance. Now, some Basque cheesecakes don't use any sort of starch in there. Some use a little bit of flour. I found that the texture of the cornstarch was really nice and silky. You're gonna give this a pre-whisk to make sure that the cornstarch has no lumps in it. Great. Now to this, you're going to add room temperature cream cheese. That is very important so that it creams in with the sugar seamlessly. Add that in. Great, I've got my hand mixer today. I'm gonna start on low speed until it gets mostly incorporated and then increase to medium. Okay, increase slightly. Work it in until it's completely incorporated and smooth. Make sure to run your hand mixer around the sides of the bowl so you get everything. And now I'm going to stop. I'm going to scrape the sides of the bowl. Also, just to ensure that everything gets mixed together. Scrape the bottom. We want a really smooth batter. Great. Mix again. That looks good. Now, one at a time, I'm going to start adding in my eggs. You could do this in a stand mixer if you wanted to, but sometimes I don't like lugging it out of the cabinet and I just like using my hand mixer. That one is completely mixed in, so I'm gonna add my second. And now my third. Perfect. That looks good. Now before I add my cream and my vanilla, I am going to scrape my sides and the bottom one more time, always to ensure that I've gotten everything really well mixed, and that's looking good. So, I'm going to slowly add my heavy cream. This will splash a little bit, so I'm adding it in a few parts. Once that's fully incorporated, I'm going to add in my vanilla extract. Again, some recipes don't use vanilla, some do. If you like it, use it. If you're a purist and you don't want to use it, you can leave it out. It's totally optional. Okay, this is looking beautiful and smooth. Now, it's time to pour into the loaf pan. And pour. And if you can do it yourself or have somebody help you, scrape in as best as you can. Okay, now this goes into my preheated oven. Okay, now is the hard part. Now, this beautiful cheesecake needs to come to room temperature, and then it gets covered in plastic wrap and kept in the refrigerator for at least 1 hour, but it's really best if it's overnight before slicing. I have been very patient. This has been chilling. Now I get to slice into it. So this is also why it's so great to line your loaf pan with parchment, because these act like little handles, like that. Get the loaf pan out of the way. And look at that gorgeous caramely top that even comes down to the sides. That is just beautiful, amazing flavor. My mouth is watering. I'm gonna cut myself a little slice. I happen to love the end pieces. It is so dense, so rich. Look at that. And this is why I like to bake this in a loaf pan, because this one slice is really all you need. And now it's time to take a bite. With its creamy center and its caramelized crust, this dessert impresses with every bite. Enjoy.